I had an online business with my son. We were the number one bow tie seller on Amazon at one point. I think I'm getting ready to sell my Amazon account because we have a five-star account. We started a cleaning business.
Here's a glimpse into the Decode Your Talent, Design Your 5+ Figure Income Bootcamp. Here you're looking at a screenshot of one of our successful students from July. There's another successful student that has made almost $1,000 just in a few weeks after finally launching their online business. And if they both keep it up, they're well on their way to their first 5 figures by the end of this year. Inflation is a promise, it's a given, it's going to happen. How are we going to prepare for those costs that are absolutely going to rise? First, let me just say thank you to everyone who is taking the time to make this commitment, because sometimes when you have a plan, you don't know how it's going to come together. And sometimes when you have intel, you pray and hope that people really get the message. We are living in a time where things are going to happen expeditiously. And when I say things are going to happen expeditiously, we see news. This is unfortunately going to have a huge effect, just not on disruption of countries as we knew them, but it's also going to have a huge impact on our just day-to-day costs. And unfortunately, many people do not understand the correlation between the two. And they're going to learn today. And I'm just going to try to make it lighthearted, because I truly believe if you don't laugh about it, you can really get in a place where you just get stuck. And so Andrea and I have been in an investing community for over 5 years now. Andrea is actually the lead and host of that community. And not only do we come up with strategy on day trading as well as long-term investing, we understand how the different sectors respond to things like this. And inflation is a promise, it's a given, it's going to happen. How are we going to prepare for those costs that are absolutely going to rise? However, what I've learned from some of the most talented investors that I've come across is that if you plan and prepare on how to offset that inflationary cost, and we don't mean just putting money in a savings account because you're actually losing money that way, but if you are actively taking advantage of the opportunities that these global crises create and position yourself to generate streams of income, you will fare better than the average person. So I'm saying all that to say that when we designed this course, we had no idea that the timing would be so of the essence. And I just want to first say thank you for everyone who's taking the time to be proactive, because if you stay the course and if you follow the strategies, I'm confident, barring any massive unforeseen circumstances, right? That's the disclaimer right there, that anyone who does that will fare better than the average person, and then also be able to teach others how to fare better during these times.
I just want to say that many administrations have actively sought conflict, even war. And people wonder why, but the reality is that war is profitable for people who know how to profit. I'm not saying to profit off of people's misery. I'm just saying don't be one of them. I heard someone say the best way to help poor people is not to be one of them. That sounds callous, but the reality is for many of us, there are people that depend on us. It's not just us. And so in many ways, we almost have an obligation. I know it's heavy, but we almost have an obligation to prepare when we can. And so I think that's sort of what we were thinking about when we put this together, and having no idea that what happened in the last couple of days was going to happen, just the old school, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready mentality. And so I think that's why we're here. In addition to the fact that it is obvious that there's a concerted attack on our demographic, and so it requires even more resilience. So I will start with an affirmation, which we plan to do every day. And so the affirmation for us today on day one is I am not building just a business. I am building a legacy. My time, my talent, and my vision are worthy of investment. I trust myself to lead, to hire, and to grow on purpose, not in panic. I will not shrink to survive. I am resourced, I am ready, and I am rising. That's for all of us. And that's how we have to think as we approach this session.
We know how necessary mindset is, right? And so we're going to use all of the tools that we have at our disposal, that we are in a position and there's no one that can tell us. Let me just be frank. I'm stepping on words like I'm on YouTube, but I'm not on YouTube today. But the propaganda machines are going to try to have us divert our attention, to make us think that we have to follow their lead and their orders. And we, as a people, know that we need to create our own lanes, and we need to be very, very mindful of what we take in, right? And so the mindset, the affirmations are part of our legacy, our history, and that is going to be part of this program. And so let me just get into the agenda for today. As we go into the day one, which is entitled Unlock Your Zone of Genius, Discover What Makes You Brilliant, I want everyone to be secure that this didn't just come out of, thin air. This is something that both Andrea and I have been engaged in at some level or another in our careers for decades, right? So this is not like something we just said, oh, like this may be fun to do. This is something that we've seen, we've experienced, and we've helped aid people through this journey. And so, as Andrea said, I wanted to kind of set that up as we both introduce ourselves, because it will make sense as to why it made sense for us to come together and share our journeys. And
So I am Andrea Henderson. I am an executive talent strategist, which means I do a lot of things around talent. My day job is in executive search and leadership consulting. I've been in other talent roles in HR, most recently in healthcare organizations, biotech, pharma, and hospitals. I work at the C-suite and the board levels, but I've done other things in HR for my day job. I am also a side hustlepreneur and do many other things on the side, like Kim mentioned. I trade and have taken tests to be a professional trader where I have been given other people's money to trade. I had an online business with my son. We were the number one bow tie seller on Amazon. At one point, I think I'm getting ready to exit. Well, I've stopped the business. I think I'm getting ready to sell my Amazon account because we have a 5-star account. We started a cleaning business and do some other things as well, because I have been a single mother for 29 years. I've always wanted to raise my son in a 2-income household. And because of the state of men in America, both of those incomes had to come from me. So that's who I am.
And I am Kim. Some of you know me from the internet as Kim with the Gems. And I definitely believe that using your gifts and talents to help others, help businesses, is what we were designed to do. And so, after learning more about my emotional type many years ago, I realized that, my passion truly lies in helping Black people who have been overlooked in certain areas, and those areas are money, travel, and wellness. And I want us to, you know, stop being the last to get the news, like, the message behind Juneteenth. I want us to catch up and thrive. And so, after stepping away from a very And this is not to boast or brag, but it's to put into context. But after stepping away from a very high earning career in multicultural sales in 2018, I began to tap in and decode my natural talents. And truth be told, I wish I would have done it sooner. I haven't looked back since. So, using these strengths, I've designed and built multiple five-figure income streams for not only myself, but for others. And it's where my passions lie. And like I said, I am a rock. So I just really want you guys to be ready to learn and be ready to lean into that zone of genius and create your five-figure incomes, because some of us start businesses and wonder why they fail. Many times it's because we're doing what we see other people doing versus doing what we should be doing naturally based on, the natural gifts and talents that we were bestowed. And so that's pretty much my introduction. I just like to say I love my people. We're designed to win. I've been blessed to be in spaces and rooms with the others who have educated me in ways, and that includes investing and trading and areas that we did not grow up learning, right? But ways that we can become financially independent. And so I just want to make sure that I lean into what God blessed me with and help others. I am going to share the presentation, and we invite you to register for the 5-day boot camp, where you'll be able to watch the videos on demand at any time you wish and hopefully start your five-figure income journey now.